Hi everybody, how you doing? It's Kevin from Goin Batty. Just wanted to come online and do another live stream about Thrive Life. So if you are interested in Thrive Life, this is the video for you. If you've never heard of it before, I'd like to give you the opportunity to hear me out. You may not want to join because it says Thrive Life. Well, I tell you what, you're missing out. Hi Virginia, how are you? I'm going to be taking questions about Thrive Life, and we're going to be talking about Thrive Life and one of the things that in particularly it can be confusing to talk about, which is the Q. And Thrive Life is, I'll give you just a synopsis of why we're doing Thrive Life and give you opportunity to ask questions about it. You're not going to hurt our feelings. We love Thrive Life. It's a business that Heather and I have started and have really begun to enjoy doing, and this is the part that I love, where we can sit together and talk through some things that we don't understand. I am not the expert. There are many guys that are working with me and training me, investing in me, that I will refer you to. If I don't know the answer, we'll find the answer together. But let me talk about the business opportunity first, and then we'll go into the Q specifically. So Thrive Life is a wonderful company that freeze dries food and puts them in cans, just like this. It's canned freeze dried food. Let me warn you though, this is not Franken food. Okay, this is not food that is changed structurally and in a way that hurts its vitamins, its quality. When you look at a can of green beans like this and you look at the ingredients on the back, and I'm not going to do this right, so forgive me. The ingredients say, I don't know if you can see it there, green beans. So when you get a can of green beans, you get green beans, but it's freeze dried, and so it's closed up like that. And then you open it. On the shelf, these smaller cans, let me see, I believe are good for 10 years. Some up to 25. So some of the smaller cans can be 10 years, others can be 25. But I wanted to give you guys the right numbers here, and I'm fumbling through the can trying to figure out where it is. But anyway, green beans, that's exactly what's in here. Green beans. You just rehydrate them and cook them like you would any other green bean. Celery. The celery is celery that's been freeze dried. You rehydrate it and you use it to cook with. It is also great in chicken salad, and it's great in the normal things that you would use celery for. If you'll notice, there's two different sizes. Depends on what you use them for. That way you can buy what you need. But buying Thrive Life food is not like going to the grocery and buying green beans on the shelf. You are buying bulk when you buy one of these cans or a can bigger, and so the pricing is going to reflect that. Once it is open, it is good for 1 year, and it lasts that long. And so that's one of the benefits. We had a situation come up recently where we ran out of milk. It all went bad, and we had freeze-dried milk on hand, and it was wonderful because Heather used it to bake biscuits with, and it was phenomenal. So anyway, there's this incredible freeze-dried food, and there's a business opportunity behind it. It's a multi-level business, and there are 3 ways that you can get involved if you are looking to start your own business, which we need a second income in our home, and this is the second income that we're choosing to have, and we're starting our own little business called Thrive Life, Goin Batty, Thrive Life, and we are new at this, and we're still learning, but they're basically I'm totally jumping around, folks. I'm so sorry. There are basically 3 ways that you can get involved in this opportunity. The first way is, and here, look at this little sheet. If you email me, I can email this back to you. It has all of this info on it. It kind of gives you the idea of how to get involved as a consultant. So if you'd want to join my team and be a part of Thrive Life and Goin Batty, we would love to have you. And there are some ways that you can do that, and there are certain levels in which you can get involved. So the first is a social seller, where you're just basically selling the product, and then the sheet kind of goes down those details for you. I'm not going to go through those right now because we want to get to talking about the queue. If you want to see the details of this, email us at info.goinbatty@gmail.com, and you guys can put that in the comments. Let's see. And do you need the oxygen packs once it's open? Yes, keep the oxygen packs in there to continue to absorb moisture. That's what those are there to keep those out of. Sorry, jumping around a little bit. I apologize. So there's the social seller level, there's the business builder level, and then there's the business builder plus level. And all of those have party packs that come with it to get you started in hosting parties at your house where people can try Thrive Life food. I'm doing it a little bit differently in the fact that I'm doing it over video, but if you were here, we would have these green beans cooked and ready to go, and you would be able to try them. There have been several people that have asked me, hey, can you send us a sample? We can talk about that if you're seriously considering, if you're serious about wanting your own business and you're wanting to get involved with us as a consultant. We will talk about how you can try some of the food. But typically we don't offer samples. Sorry. I know it's not fair. I think we've shown a lot of great cooking videos where we show you some great food, and that should get you kind of enticed, and I know it's difficult to taste food through the TV, but we've got some pretty good looking stuff. So there are basically 3 different ways that you can get involved with Goin Batty Thrive Life as a consultant. And we would love to have you, because once you join us, we're trying not to just leave you out to dry. I mean, it is your business and you're free to do with it whatever you want. But if you need support, if you need encouragement, if you need someone to talk to, we're going to be walking right beside you in it. We're not going to pretend to know all the answers, but we will help you find them and help you get started in the business that you're building. This is a solid company, and it's an exciting opportunity for us. It's not for everybody. I'll be the first to admit that. You may not be in a position where you're ready to do it yet. And all of that is okay. We're going to be here for you when you are ready. But there are some things that I'd like you guys to know about. One is, I think Amazon kind of started it, and we're kind of learning our lesson from Amazon. When we lived in Baltimore, there is a hub for Amazon right in Baltimore. And I was talking with a college student about what they were doing that afternoon, and they were telling me that they were sitting on their couch watching a movie, just having some time off. I'm like, that's great. You should relax. You've been working hard. And they said, yeah, I got thirsty, and I went online and I ordered a 12-pack of Coke from Amazon because it was on special. They delivered it within 20 minutes. 20 minutes of them ordering their Coke. What is happening is Amazon is beginning to set the trend for all of these different companies to start mailing stuff right to your front door. Grocery stores are doing it. Big brands are doing it. There's all kinds of companies out there that are going to deliver straight to your front door, and you don't have to fight the crowds at the grocery store anymore. Well, Thrive Life is no different. Thrive Life makes groceries available to you straight to your front door, but it's freeze-dried food that's going to last a long time. So you can put it up on your shelf. You can have kind of a store in your own house where you have go-to food that if you run out of something or if you want to use something, boom, it's there. They have everything from eggs to peppers. They have blueberries. They have fruit. They have incredible dairy products. They have amazing bread flour. They have incredible cookies that you can make. All of it is GMO free. It's made in the U.S., which is beautiful. Their vegetables come from the U.S., and there's just there's probably a lot more that I'm missing here. But just know that we're not talking about Franken food. We're not talking about food that's been processed so hard that it doesn't have flavor once it's done. We're talking about food that's so good the Goin Batty clan is even eating it. I mean, and we're eating a lot. We're eating it and having fun with it. But basically what's happened is all these companies have said, hey, let's just send it straight to the customer's house. Well, that's what the queue is. The queue is groceries to your door. And I'm going to try to answer some frequently asked questions that we get about what is the queue. Well, the queue is something that you can set up. And it is something that, if you decide to become a part of the company as a consultant, great. If it's something you just want to have access to because you want to buy the food, you can set that up as well. But when you get into the queue and when you set it up, there is a couple of things that you're going to experience. And I'm going to go to the website really quick. If you guys are on the live stream and you have questions, let me know, because I'm all about answering questions. But it's basically this simple. You select your groceries, you set a budget, and then every month they're going to send you food. And they won't go above your budget. So there will be shipping, there will be taxes, but that is in the normal parameters of what you'd get from Amazon or from Kroger or from Wally World or Meijer or any of these other places. You select your groceries, you set a budget, and you get a shipment every month of great, awesome food. So I'm just going to go through some of that process. Thank you, Dolphin Man. I appreciate that. Here's one of the questions that's asked, and these are in no particular order. What are favorites? The little heart icon that's up in the corner when you're looking at a queue. Basically what you do is you pick out what your favorite groceries are, what your favorite foods are. It might be blueberries, it might be tomato powder, it might be their homemade not their homemade, their potato chunks. Whatever the favorite is you click on it, and that becomes your favorite. Whether it's this size can, which is a number 10 can, or this size can, which is a pantry can. They're different sizes, and you guys can enjoy that. Dolphin Man. Can you stop at any time? Yes, you can. Basically, what it'll do is we'll get to some of those questions because I know that's hard to understand. The cream sauce is amazing. All of their gravies are incredible. But pick your favorites by clicking the heart icon, and this adds your item to the favorites section for easy access. All right, Mindy, I see your question. I just got an email back from a local town that I'm going to be setting up a stand at a farmer's market to have Thrive Life demo and tasting along with other items I'm going to sell. That is exciting, Mindy. That is very cool. That is very cool. That's going to be great. And, have some things out that people can try, that people can taste. Setting up the queue can be confusing because Thrive uses our favorites to automatically fill your queue when it's empty. It'll stop at the budget you set. So let's say you set a budget for $100. It's gonna fill up. It's gonna take from all the favorites that you've picked. You take some time when you first set up your queue. You look through and pick what your favorites are, and this is real food. I'm gonna pause for questions. Okay. Have your family or friends go in with buying some cans, divide them up. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely divide and conquer. The queue is a preset preset thing. I'm losing my words. This is terrible. That's the fun part about being on live, is when you screw something up, you can just be honest about it. It automatically populates your favorites into your cart, into your what they call your queue, so that it'll ship according to the amount that you set. It'll also give you control over the date that it sends it. So if that month you can't do it, you'll say, hey, I need to skip this month. You just put it in there as skipped, and they'll see you next month. If you don't want to do it anymore, you can cancel it at any time, but if there is an initial fee to become a part of the queue. When you're just buying the food. When you become a consultant, there are some other dynamics to the queue, like you have to keep a $50 minimum queue once a month. And how Heather and I have done that is we have incorporated that into our groceries. We look at the queue and go, okay, what do we need for next month? And we add that to what we're having. So instead of like adding above and beyond what we're already paying for groceries, we simply took $50 of our grocery money and set it aside and used it for Thrive Life, and it's working wonderfully. So the queue can be confusing, and it confused me when I first signed up, because what happens is when you put all of your information in and you're just about ready to put your credit card information in, you see a default of $200 in there. Well, when you become a consultant, or when you become, when you become a consultant, you begin to have the ability to adjust that only after you put your debit card or credit card information in. It's getting a commitment from people. It's saying, hey, are you really in on this? And are you willing? Are you going to buy from us? Are you going to become a customer, a consultant? So you have to put that information in, and then it adjusts, and you have control over whether or not they charge your card or not. Beautiful you are. Super picky eaters do like this food. And if we're on the live stream, put me to the test a little bit. Tell me what some of the picky eaters' favorite foods are, and I'll tell you if Thrive Life can accommodate them. Don't stump me with too much, because I'm pretty sure that share with me whatever they like, and we'll give it a whirl. Picky eaters do like this food, because I am a picky eater. Don't forget, you can always customize your shipments on your own. Okay, this is something that I think people get scared of. Is once they sign up for it, can it be adjusted? Are you joining me?
I'm just gonna sit by you.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe we should put your beautiful face on camera. There we go.
I don't have to have my face on camera.
All right, so
I'm going to help you answer some questions if you need.
By all means, I'd love that. I think having Heather here helps too, because she will be able to answer the questions that she's had as we've started this business, and it's kind of scary at first, or it's kind of exciting. Like for an introvert like me, Mexican and Italian foods are all right. Beautiful you are. They have incredible recipes, and Heather will give you some of this, but let me say this first. What kind of Mexican foods? What kind of Italian foods? Be specific in the dishes that they like, because I'm telling you, they have a lot.
They have a tomato sauce powder that is really good. My daughter makes it all the time. Like when we have those days where I'm like, oh shoot, I forgot to make bread, so I don't have anything for the kids to make sandwiches with, she'll whip that out and she'll just cook up some spaghetti and some pasta sauce, and it is super easy to do. The other thing that I made the other night, and like I said, there are...
You can make it thin sauce, you can make it thick sauce.
They have an Alfredo, like if you get the bechamel sauce, they have a recipe for an Alfredo sauce.
Oh, and that's
good.
That's really
a lot of little kids like.
You can use it in, you can use bechamel in biscuits and gravy.
Oh, I haven't tried that.
Because it's a white sauce.
The other thing too is that the other night I made beef enchiladas, and they were really good. And they had, like, if you go to Thrive's recipe page, they have all of these recipes. Some were done by the chef that they have on staff there, and then some were just done by people like you and me, where they've taken stuff and they've put it together. And for me, like I said, this is I've said in some of the videos that this is a learning curve for me because I'm used to cooking with fresh stuff all the time. So cooking with something that's freeze-dried, I would rather have a recipe that I know has been tested instead of making my kids the guinea pigs.
Yeah, but we have done some things like that, like chicken salad.
Yeah.
Heather makes chicken salad her way, but she uses the Thrive Life ingredients, and it really pops. It really is good. I mean, she doesn't just add chicken, onion, and celery,
which you totally can.
She does that, but she also adds her own homemade mayonnaise. She adds things to it. But I really want to, again, I want to keep us on the. We want to answer questions on the live stream, but I want to get to the queue because I know for me, when we started this, I didn't 100% get the queue, and now we've done it for a couple of months, and it's working for us in a way that I didn't expect. So once it sends you your shipment, it'll send you an email saying, hey, Thrive is on the way, and it'll list out everything that you ordered. If you don't want it to come, again, if you have a tough month, we've had tough months where we can't order as much Thrive Life as we want. We just slim it back. You can't go lower than 50 when you're a consultant, and then there are other rules if you're just in the queue, because you don't have to be a consultant to enjoy the queue. You can be a part of the queue. I think there's an upfront fee of $79. I may be off on that. Go to the website. They'll walk you through it. The website's real easy to navigate when you're signing up for the queue.
Sharon Leanne, I think that's a smart idea. She said I order the pantry size first to see if I like it. For us, that's what we did. Is we started, okay, let's start with a smaller can, because if we don't particularly care for it, then we don't need to order it again. But we found like things like the blueberries, the strawberries, the bananas, the yogurt bites, things that my kids, that are good snacks for them, because we'll go through, I'll go to the grocery store and I'll buy, like right now they have peaches on sale, they have cherries on sale, they have watermelon on sale, and I'll buy what I think is 2 weeks worth of fruit, and it's gone in 3 days. So my kids love fruit, and I would rather them eat that than to eat a bunch of garbage like chips and cookies and this and that. So I would rather do that, but the problem is that kind of shoots my grocery budget sometimes, because they're coming to me like, for the rest of the week and a half that I have before it's time to do groceries again, going, we don't have anything to snack on. And and they're growing kids, so they need that like every 2 or 3 hours. They need a little handful of something to kind of keep them going. And so for us, like the fruit stuff, the ones that we know that they really, really love, we'll buy them in the size, what was it, number 10 cans. But other things okay, do we like this? Well, let's get a smaller can, let's try it. And it has worked out very well for us.
So I want to go back to this again, because it threw me off. When I first established the queue, before I put my credit card information in, it said a default of $200. And in my head, I thought, okay, there's the hitch. I actually have to do $200. Well, after you put your credit card information in, there is some flexibility in that. So I want to make sure you guys understand that you do have control month to month over the queue on what you spend and what is sent to you. You can always customize your order.
Dolphin Man, yes, you can send things as a gift. You can drop ship it, I believe. Is that correct?
Yep.
You can give them the other person's address, give Thrive Life the other person's address, and send it to them. We've drop shipped things to people who have been
won our contest.
Who won our contest, and so it doesn't actually have to come to us, and then we have to ship it out. You can.
You're not going to keep inventory in your house of all this stuff and have to keep track of. Okay, Johnny gets beans this week and Jenny gets fruit. No. Thrive Life handles all of that for you, and when you become a consultant, you get access to a website that's your own, a back door to that website that's your own, where you can have an office, you can have all the tools, you can have your downline sales. It's very comprehensive. I'm probably not doing it justice, and all the people who are veterans in Thrive Life are laughing at me because I'm muddling my way through it. But this is how I learn. I verbalize and share it with friends I love. Now, the second question. How are my shipments filled if I haven't selected any favorites? Like we said before, when you go to the queue, you take that initial time and go, okay, what are my favorite dishes? This family loves the blueberries, loves the apples, loves strawberries, loves yogurt, loves the burger meat, loves the sausage. Here's the other thing. We even like their powdered eggs. Their powdered eggs are amazing.
Those powdered eggs.
Beautiful you are. I don't care to sell it, but when my new job starts, I will be able to stock up on things. Like it will be harder to convince my picky eating hubby.
Okay, so not to be like sneaky, and I'm not telling you to do that, but what
we would never tell you to be sneaky.
What I have done is for him, who is my pickiest eater.
Now wait, we have 4 kids.
Yes, we have 4 children.
I am the pickiest.
I have done things like I'll make something and then tell him what it is after he's eaten it.
Yep.
So, and I know that kind of sounds a little underhanded, but I think sometimes people have it in their idea that, oh, this isn't good because of this.
I'm blessed because she hasn't thrown rat poison in there yet.
No, I have not yet. But so, you know, like the eggs actually and the milk, like, kind of saved a recipe the other day because I was like, daggone it, I don't have any milk. And it was when I was making my biscuits and gravy. And Kevin was like, well, we have the Thrive milk. And I was like, oh, because there is something where it's so frustrating when you have to, you drop everything and, where am I going? Oh, there I am, hi. And go to the grocery store because you've already got half of your stuff mixed up and you're like, ah, dang it. So that was really nice. And they have on the can for the eggs, they tell you how much to mix to get 1 egg, which that was nice too, because like our chickens have finally started laying eggs again, but for a while there they were just kind of slacking and we were getting no eggs a day. And so I just really don't want to go out to get 1 or 2 things. If I'm going grocery shopping, I want to get it all done at one time, and I don't want to have to make little trips everywhere. So that has actually helped me in doing those little emergency runs that you have to do. So that's been kind of nice because now I'm not wasting the gas and I'm not wasting the money because I already have it here.
That link that I just shared on our live stream is a link where you can go and you can establish a queue. There might be other people like Beautiful You Are who just want to buy the food.
Yep.
They don't necessarily want to sell it. No problem, sweet.
Okay.
I understand that. This is a choice we're making to start our own business and to sell it. I don't like calling it selling it. I like showing you how we use it in our life because I'm not a salesman. I'm not a salesman. But it's an opportunity for you guys to see how we use it and to try it. But if you just want to buy it and you just want to shop and grocery shop and if you're a prepper and you want to get some back stock, this stuff is great because it doesn't ever go bad. I mean, even canning food is cumbersome. And we're going to can a lot of food this year. So this isn't to say don't can. This is to say, hey, here's how we're going to incorporate it. Now, we just had some things come up on the live feed. Let me read through those. Pamela, so do we use your name when we go online? How do you get credit for our purchases? Well, here's the thing. Hi, Tiny House Prepper. How are you? Here's the thing. If you go to the Thrive website that I always tell you guys about, which for some reason I just can't get in my brain right now. It's Thrive, Goin Batty. Come on, Kev, where is it? Talk amongst yourselves.
Okay, well, here, I'll share something. Wait, what was I going to share? Shoot, I forgot.
Wow, that's the fun part about live, isn't it?
I had something.
All of our words are gone.
Forgot.
I don't know where they are.
So.
I'm going to put a link up. You guys keep talking. The best way for you to order it through us.
I know what I was going to say. We aren't necessarily preppers. Like,
no.
we believe in having, like, some food in back stock, whether canning and stuff like that.
We do believe in being prepared for emergencies, though.
But, I mean, you know, here's our thing. Like, we have twice lived through some kind of relatively inconvenient natural disaster. There was a point, this is probably about 8 or 9 years ago, where the remnants of a hurricane, the winds come through Ohio, and it knocked out our power for 2 weeks. Well, I mean, you're spending a fortune in ice at that point because you can't get your refrigerator going. And I looked at Kevin, and when we first heard about this, I was like, you know, that would have been really convenient because at the time we were cooking on a camp stove because we didn't have any electricity. We had an electric range. And and having to throw things away because it had gone bad, or making sure we had enough ice to keep everything cool, buying these giant chest coolers. And that was when we heard about this, we're like, okay, like we know that was probably a once in a lifetime thing. But here's the thing: we live in Ohio. We have tornadoes every once in a while.
We have electricity go out.
We have electricity go out. We were in Maryland when Sandy hit.
Yeah.
And we were fortunate because we only got kind of the tail end of it, because we had to come back here to Ohio to deal with some family stuff. My dad had passed away, and then when we went back, it was just the tail end of it. But still, we were out of power and stuff like that. So for things like that, like, we're not preparing for like the world ending and stuff like that. And, we're preparing for, okay, there are certain times where there is a bad situation that's going to happen. And the other thing too is that if you have stuff like this kind of backstocked, if you have something like your husband loses his job, or you lose your job, or you have like your income is decreased, you have a window of time to go, okay, our grocery budget has to be cut in half now, and I have this other stuff kind of stocked away. I can use that until we can get back to where we need to be.
Right.
And, it's always smart to have, they talk about to have like a month's worth of your bills in your savings, so that in case something like that happens, you're okay for like a month to 6 months. That's sometimes what they say. Start with a month and then work your way to 6 months. But I think it's also smart to have that with your food too, because you want to be prepared for that, because no one expects to lose a job, right? I mean,
No.
you just kind of,
That's right.
It sometimes just happens, and you don't know when it's going to, and that's another stress that you don't want added onto the family dynamic, because it's
Absolutely.
like, okay, now I'm not employed and I have to feed my children. So how am I going to do that? And you're scrambling, and sometimes in that scrambling, you don't make wise decisions. You might just grab the first job that comes along, and not the one that you actually, which may be okay to get you to where you need to be,
but it's not a long-term solution.
But it's not a long-term solution. So that was kind of our thought in that. We want to be prepared for, again, like if there's a natural disaster, we want to be prepared for that. We want to be prepared for if there's a sudden income decrease. So that's where I was. That was my thought that I forgot, and then it came back. So
well, and I think there's a survive mentality that we're trying to come out of and into a thriving life. And I put our link, Goin Batty.thrivelife.com is how you can go and you can buy food as just to buy food. I know as we've been talking about the queue, some of you said, hey, I just want to buy it, I don't want to sell it. Great, no problem. You can go do it. About that, someone's tried to call me and we're doing this on my phone. So it's
someone else was saying, yes, it is great for camping too, because
Yes.
I mean, think about it, like the bane of my existence when we camp is those stupid eggs in the carton that you have to keep cold, and then the egg carton gets all wet and it falls apart and they're like, oh, it's so frustrating. But like this stuff, you can just put it, like you can put meals in a jar, put all the ingredients in it, and then just like add the amount right on it, how much like water you have to add to it or whatever, and just cook it like that.
Yep.
I mean, that works really well.
Now, the main point of this video was to tell you about the queue.
Sorry, I sidetracked you.
That's right, I sidetracked us.
Okay.
And that's okay, because we're doing it live so we can answer questions as we go. The queue is an interesting thing to navigate. Here's the second question that you might be asking. How are my shipments filled if I haven't selected any favorites? If you don't go through and you just like, I don't want to select any favorites, and you're one of those folks that like surprises, what they'll do is they will fill your shipment up to your budget with the most popular items out there. I'm telling you, these are things that they'll do for you. Now, I gotta share this with you. Tiny House Prepper is one of the guys that's mentoring me in the Thrive Life business. And so while he's online right now, ask questions, because if I don't know the answer, he certainly does. And of course, check out their channel as well for information about prepping, tiny house living, Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah, all that stuff. He's an amazing guy, and I really want to plug their channel along with Big Family Homestead. These are folks that are mentoring us in homesteading and mentoring us as we get the Goin Batty Thrive Life leg of our business
And
started.
I believe with Tiny House Prepper, the majority of the food that they eat is Thrive food.
Yeah.
Like they because of the space that they have, which is a great space for them, like, but they don't have a lot of storage to put a lot of this extra food.
Right.
Like fresh food that, you know, and they need something that has to last a long time. And so they use that all the time. And they've got recipes of stuff that they've made up on their channel too.
Okay. So basically what they do is you go there, you input all of your pertinent information. You decide, am I going to just be someone that comes there to grocery shops, or am I going to be someone that that's going to get involved in the business side of it? Hi Leslie, how are you? Thanks for joining us. These are things 60 to 70 degrees.
70%.
Oh, 70%.
They 60 to 70% of their food is Thrive food, is what they're saying.
Wow, I got really confused by that.
I'm not sure if it's Bill or Elizabeth on here, but
okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, I feel like this has been a really good situation for us as far as having it sent directly to our door and having the queue set up. It's kind of fun because I like going there to see what they pick out of my favorites for me. I have a lot of things on my queue set with the little heart. It looks like that. It looks just like that. And they'll draw some stuff out for me that I didn't even know I needed. And there's some snackies that are fantastic. Hi, Pam Walker. How are you? That would be shocking, Tanya, but it's up to God when I get to test that. Okay, yeah. Okay. I'm coming in late to that part of the live stream. That's why I need to stay focused here. So if you get involved in the queue, step by step, they'll lead you through how to sign up for it. Let me go to the third question because I'm getting lost in my own thoughts. When are my shipments filled for the queue? It's up to you. As soon as your current month's shipment is processed, the queue will fill up your next shipment to your budget. So it does it automatically after your queue is sent. So we had our queue sent just yesterday. And the second I went on there and they said they send you an email saying the order's been filled and shipped, I went back on there. It's got all new stuff on there for next month. And I look at the date and go, is that coincide with our paycheck, my paycheck, and is it something that I can afford, and is it something that I can do? And guess what I get to do? I change it according to whatever our family needs. I'm in control of it. It's not a have to, it's a want to. I know this isn't part of the topic, but how is Kevin's mom? My mom is in flux right now. My mom is feeling better, but she's still in the hospital, and she's still in the recovery area, and we'll go into that later, okay? But she's doing better. She may have to go into the hospital on Monday to get a transfusion. So we're waiting.
They're trying to wait to see if the antibiotic is going to help her.
There you go.
That's
the antibiotic.
That's really all we have.
That's the long
right
and
now.
short of it.
Yeah.
So anyway, when are my shipments filled? As soon as your current month's shipment is processed, the queue fills your next shipment up to your budget. If you've already added some items to your shipment, the queue won't touch it, even if it's below the budget. So if you go in there and you fill your queue with stuff that you want before they populate it, you win. Your shipment that you dictate is what they'll go by, not their own. So just be aware of that if you put something in there, they're not going to knock it off so they can fill an order. They're going to pay attention to what you've already put in there. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And the other question I wanted to ask is, can I skip a shipment? Yes. Simply go to your settings to pause the shipment. The queue will resume automatically the next month. And that's true for any of us because all of us have those difficult months. That's why we're backstocking. That's why we're getting prepared.
Well, and there may be times where you look in your pantry and go, we don't need anything right now,
right?
Or we don't have room for anything right now. And that's one of those examples of when you could like skip a shipment until you get, because I have a pantry list that's just for the Thrive stuff, and I will have like how many cans of what, and if it's highlighted in pink, that means that we need more of it. If it's highlighted in blue, then we don't need any of it.
Right.
So that way I know exactly what's there.
Yes, Danny 69. Yes, you can pick exact items that you want every month and not have them pick things for you. They may go ahead and pick them, but all you do is hit that little X and you clear it out. You clear out all the things that they've populated and you pick what you want. That's how I do it anyway. We don't need 3 or 4 cans of beef chunks. We don't go through that many beef chunks. We might start, but we need ground beef. We go through a lot of onions. We go through potatoes. We go through sausage and
tomato powder,
blueberries,
yes,
and all that stuff.
That kind of stuff.
So we'll change it to fit what we need versus what they think we need. And so yes, you can pick the items that you want. The shipments usually happen from. They usually arrive to your house by 4 to 7 days. But let me add a warning to this. Make sure that you're not trying to use a P.O. box number for delivery.
Yes.
They do not deliver to P.O. box numbers. So when we signed up for Thrive Life, we have to use our real address, and we're not going to give that out over the internet. We use our P.O. box number here in this world. But when you sign up as a consultant, you access that information and become a part of the community, the Goin Batty team. And so you can have full access to us for questions. And we want to be available to you even if we don't know really what we are doing all the time. So anyway, they'll arrive to your house 4 to 7 business days. If it's on back order, it may be held up a little bit. We've not run into that.
We've never run into anything on back order yet.
I have seen some times online where they say out of stock, and so there are some things that may not be available right away, but they correct that pretty quickly and get back on track. Like I said, Thrive is a great company, and we had very little issue with them. I've enjoyed using their the queue a lot because it's fun. It's kind of fun. We're gonna try something that we don't know how it's gonna turn out, but I know it's gonna be great. We're gonna try their powdered butter. It comes UPS or US mail. I think it comes through UPS.
I think it comes through UPS. I think everything I've had a couple of things, like maybe we've had probably 7 shipments, 7 or 8. I think we've had one that's come through the US mail.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
But everything else has come, I think, UPS.
Yep, absolutely. Does the price displayed include shipping and taxes? No. So I think at the last time we did our thing, it came out at 48 and change. Well, once the shipping was added and the taxes were added, it was well above $50. The price is the total items on your queue. Let's look at Danny 69. I see another question.
She's asking, let's see, how many cans?
So the pantry can size of green beans, how many cans of green beans from the store would that equal?
I believe like a regular size of can of green beans is 2, maybe 3 servings. This one here, the pantry size can that we have, is 8 servings in it.
You got to go by servings, not ounces, because this doesn't have any weight to it.
It doesn't have any water in it.
There's no water in it. A lot of people get hung up on that. The idea is that what is it per pound? Well, they don't price it per pound. They price it per serving like you would anything.
We have not tried the honey crystals yet. Somebody was asking about that.
That sounds good, actually.
We have not tried that yet.
Put some of that in my coffee.
Yeah, working our way through like,
yeah.
Oh, that looks fun. Let's try that.
Yeah.
But there's quite a bit of that looks fun. Let's try that. So,
absolutely.
So like the pantry can, that's 8 servings. So probably for our family our size, this is probably one meal for us.
Yeah.
But if you're like somebody who's single, or it's you and your husband and you're retired, or it's you and your husband and you don't have any kids yet, or something like that,
or if you live alone.
Yeah. I mean that's something that would work for like I think about my grandmother, like she only really needs to cook for herself. So having something like, if you open up a can of green beans, then you have to figure out what to do with the rest of the green beans, because you're going to be eating them for the next 3 or 4 days if you don't have a plan for them.
Yeah.
So, but doing it this way, you only take out as much as you need, and then everything else goes back onto the shelf with your little oxygen absorber in your can and everything.
It sounds like we need to try the honey crystals.
I know.
That sounds awesome. I mean, I'd use that in my coffee.
Yeah.
So anyway, going back to the queue, when you're in the queue and you're taking things off and putting things on, it's going to automatically recalculate it for you. So if you take green beans off and you add strawberries, it's going to show you that pre-tax, pre-shipping price, and then you can go into the next level to see, okay, what's shipping cost and then what's taxes cost. So just give it time to repopulate, give it time to move, and you'll enjoy the queue. Just be patient with it as it recalculates.
My son would like that. He says
honey crystals.
Tiny House Prepper says they sprinkle honey crystals on oatmeal like sugar.
Hi James, how are you?
Which would be my oldest son loves oatmeal, and he loves putting like honey and maple syrup in it. He would love that.
So why have a budget on the queue? I think all of us have budgets. I think anybody that's trying to live their life, and maybe even like us, paycheck to paycheck, I think we all need a budget so that we can stay on track, and the queue helps us with that by setting a budget. And when there's a hiccup in the game, it's flexible enough so that if we can't afford something, we can skip it if we need to. Setting a budget helps you keep your monthly queue shipments at a specific price point, so they don't overcharge you, so they give you something that you don't want. Honey crystals. What is honey crystals? Honey crystals is freeze-dried honey.
Yeah.
Freeze-dried honey.
It's amazing to watch what they can freeze-dry, because the eggs, like when I think of powdered eggs, I think of my grandpa talking about the eggs that he had in the military.
Mm-hmm.
And like he wouldn't touch those with a 10-foot pole. So I made them, and my youngest and I, who he's an egg fiend, he loves eggs.
I love eggs too.
We tried them, and he ate. When I called Kevin one day, he was working on his 3rd serving of eggs. So, and it was a little weird for me when I opened the can, because it kind of reminded me of cosmetic glitter, because it's really shiny. Mm-hmm. But if you think about it, if you have an egg that you get some egg on the countertop and you don't see it and it dries, it turns shiny. Mm-hmm. But it reconstituted really well. And like I said, I love the fact that they give you directions for doing just 1 egg. So if you're like, oh darn it, I don't have enough eggs to finish this recipe, you have that just 1 egg. And mm-hmm. So they do the same thing with like the honey, and which is kind of nice, because here's my thing. Honey and children is sometimes a nightmare. Like they'll go put honey in their tea, and I have sticky counters for weeks, you know? Mm-hmm. So to be able to have them where it's crystallized, where they can just put it in their tea and not have to worry about dripping honey everywhere, because it's just, yeah, it's a sticky mess sometimes. But yeah, that's something that I think sounds really interesting, and it's on our things we want to try list.
Tanya wants to know what our favorite item is.
Our favorite item?
Here's the thing.
Mm-hmm. That's a hard one.
If you, Dolphin, I'll get to that in just a second. I'm becoming a fan of everything. I like it all. My favorite, I'll tell you, every time Heather cooks something, I'm like, ooh, that's my new favorite. These eggs taste like scrambled eggs. I love them. I think they're awesome. I'm a big fan of their ground beef. I'm a big fan of ground beef, because you buy those big frozen chunks of ground beef, and then you have to cut it in half and store the other half of it. Talk to them about the benefits of having the ground beef in a can like this versus having to buy it at the store.
Well, on those nights where you're like, crud, I forgot to pull the ground beef out of the freezer, which I do that all the time, I can just grab that and I can use it. It works, like I said, it worked really well in the beef enchiladas that I made. I probably, like, if you're talking about, like, for me, like, my favorite thing, when it comes to, like, every once in a while you just want something, like, sweet, it's the freeze-dried blueberries and strawberries and bananas are probably some of my favorite things because they have that sweet, but they also have a crunchy texture to them too, which kind of satisfies that crunch that sometimes you want. Those
Absolutely.
are probably my favorite things to snack on. Now, my favorite things to cook with are the chopped onions, because I hate chopping onions because cry everywhere and there's mascara all over the place. The onions, the ground beef, the sausage, the tomato powder, because it makes, like, I just made lasagna and I had tomato sauce that was made from the Thrive Life tomato sauce, and I mixed it in with my meat and made the lasagna with it, and it takes that, you know, half hour of cooking down a sauce, kind of takes that, and all you have to do is add your spices to it. Like I went out and I picked basil and oregano and thyme and rosemary and threw it in my sauce, and it was awesome. So
hey, I've got a couple questions I'm going to help. We're going to answer here real quick. Let's go back to Danny69. If you want to make mashed potatoes, how do you do this? Usually you boil the potatoes and drain, and you boil the potato cubes from Thrive Drain, and you whip the mashed potatoes. Listen, you can use the cubes. You can. But wait. You might as well just use the mashed potatoes.
yeah.
This was funny because this is not potato flakes, okay? This is not what Kevin made growing up most of his life out of a box.
It's not what you had in school lunches.
It's not what you think, folks. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, ew, instant mashed potatoes. Heather thought the same thing. The fresh is enjoyable. We love fresh homemade mashed potatoes.
Given the option, I will always probably make fresh mashed potatoes from potatoes if we have them. But if I don't have them, I'm going to use that.
It's real potatoes.
And you could totally, like you did, like if you wanted to use the potato chunks and boil those and then drain them and then do it that way, you can totally do that. It'll work, or you can do it this way.
Guess what this has in it? One guess. Potatoes. They're real potatoes. That's it. There's no monosodium glutamate. There's no GMO stuff. There's no preservatives. It's potatoes, and they've been freeze-dried.
The tomato powder can is surprisingly heavy. Yeah, you'll pick it up and be like, oh.
Yeah.
That's a lot of stuff.
So Pamela, you canned ground beef, and the texture was gross. Well, Thrive Life doesn't have that problem. Let me tell you, this is the premier way of doing long-term storage for meat. When you buy this stuff and you leave it in its natural seal that they've done, natural seal, I didn't say that right, but you know what I mean. The way it comes, it lasts for 25 years. When you unseal it and you start cooking with it, it's not gross. You add water, you rehydrate it, and it is awesome. It tastes awesome. It is awesome because it's real hamburger. Yeah. It's not and Bill says this from Tiny House. It's not Franken food. It's not. Meat. The mashed potatoes are not Franken potatoes. Franken tots. Is that a word? I don't know. It's funny. Can you order just one product at first? I don't know the answer to that, but I think you can. So, well, that's one of those questions that if Tiny House Prepper's watching, maybe he can help us through that. Okay. If you want to just order one product at a time, I'm not sure how that works, but I think you can. And Tiny House Prepper, Bill from Tiny House Prepper, if you could help us with that answer, we'd be very grateful. So yes, you can. No minimum. Awesome.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks for saying that. So yeah, I think that JC is here. Thanks for sharing, you guys. We are for sure in serious consideration for using this as an emergency supply. I think it's a great idea. I'm still stuck on what's my favorite. I'll just be honest with you. It's all good. And what's really cool is it's kind of acted as a stepping stone to our sons and our daughter and our sons learning how to cook. They're using the stuff on a daily basis, and they're making their own breakfasts with it. Mm-hmm. They're making their own lunches with it, and we're encouraging it. So how much would the honey cost, for example? Well, you'll have to go to the website because I don't have
because I'm not sure if it's just
their
in
stuff
a
right in
bakery
front of
can
me.
or if it's in.
We're gonna look it up right now. This is the beauty of live. I'm gonna
yeah.
look it up right now.
Yes,
so,
the yogurt. Oh my gosh, the yogurt.
It's amazing.
Oh, so good. It reminds me a little bit of like, you know, when you were a kid and you got the astronaut ice cream. It reminds me of that, only it's way, way better. So far we've had the vanilla yogurt, and that's really great. But I've tried
raspberry, blueberry.
Yeah, they have blueberry, raspberry, strawberry, and I think they have. I think it's
what was the question
fruit.
about? What sizes can you get honey crystals in? Honey crystals.
How
You
much
can
it
get
is?
them in a number 10 can. That's the big can like this. You can get them in that can. You can get them in the pantry can,
which is the smaller one like that.
You can get them in a case of 6 cans, or you can get them in 6 of these, or you can get a pantry can 10-pack. So it comes in all variable sizes depending on what your needs are. I'm looking at some of these things going, Christmas presents, because we'll buy 6 of these honey pantry cans, put a bow around it, put a little gift card on top, and there you go. I'm just thinking that
the prices vary depending on what can you get.
Yeah, and what size you get, and what kind of food you get.
So it looks like a pantry can. Like if you wanted. Oh, sorry.
Don't tell them they have to go to our website to find out the price.
Okay.
I'm a sneaky little
You're
fella.
sneaky.
Anyway.
Yes, it does remind you a little bit of the Lucky Charms. I just feel better about eating them because I know they're not nearly as bad as the Lucky Charms marshmallows.
Yeah, the yogurt's phenomenal. It really is good.
Oh, hold up both cans for comparison.
Yes,
so, yeah.
we did that earlier.
Pantry can, number 10 can.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff that we buy, like vegetables, are in the bigger can because we have a bigger family.
Yeah, and quite honestly, it depends on our budget on any given time too. If we can't afford a big pantry can or a big number 10 can, we'll buy a pantry can and get us through.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we were talking about the queue, and we'll continue to let our ADD get the best of us. But I'm gonna press on with some of the questions about the queue that I think you might have, or I know I had. What is the purpose of a budget? Your budget cannot be changed until after your 3rd shipment, at which point you can raise or lower your budget as much as you like. So as you guys go through this and you experience Thrive Life, you'll see that the budget can be adjusted as you go into it. So maybe what I said earlier isn't exactly accurate, and that's another thing that Tiny House Prepper can help us with, is when someone goes in and signs up for the queue, is the budget flexible, or is it depend on what they get? The business builder, business builder
what
plus.
What it sounded like is that you can change your budget there. So you didn't want to spend the $200, so you only wanted to do like $25, $50, whatever.
We have someone right now that has a $30 budget.
Then it's set there for 3 months, and then after that you can raise or lower or whatever. But you can skip, like if you're like, okay, I don't need this month. You can skip that. Is what it sounded like.
Yeah. So the other question is, what does the budget? Does the budget include shipping and taxes? No, they add that afterwards, after you're all said and done, just like they would at the grocery store. Keep in mind, Amazon started this. Here, Tiny House Prepper. For 3 months, you can order more, but not less. Okay, there you go. Amazon started this, and we get to enjoy the new cultural trend of having groceries sent straight to your front door. Everybody's doing it. It'll make you feel good.
That's not a good reason.
No, it's not a good reason. But I think it's the convenient side of it, and it's something that just continues to give back to us. So what is Q Club? The Q Club is an exclusive rewards program that's different than the Q, that helps you get the most bang for your buck. So you sign up for $80 to do the Q Club, and you can purchase a membership and start your Q through. Actually, this comes with the Thrive Life Consultants thing, with at least an $100 order and get a free membership. So if you aren't a consultant, it's going to cost you $8, $80. If you are a consultant and you have an order of $100, you get a free membership. So You can learn more about the Q Club on Goin Batty's website, and I don't want to give you false information, but I don't know all the ins and outs of the Q Club. Heather and I earn Q points.
Did we get some from Mother?
Tiny House Prepper just said no, and I always get nervous when he says no. But anyway, these are Q Club points that we enjoy, and we've been getting information from. So what else do you guys have as far as the Q questions that you might have that we might be able to answer, or anything about Thrive Life that you may have questions about? 3 months at $100 club is free. Thank you for clarifying that, Tiny House Prepper.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Again, we're not going to pretend to know all the answers. We're going to navigate this until we get really good at it.
We're trying to learn as much as we can, and sometimes we don't get it correct. That's why it's nice to have somebody who's been doing it a while.
And that's the whole thing behind Goin Batty. I mean, we're going to be teachable. We're going to be mentored. And when you decide to become a consultant with us, or if you decide to become a customer, we're not going to leave you hanging. We're going to find the answers for you, even if we don't know them.
Because in finding those answers, we learn something ourselves too.
Absolutely.
And we can pass that on to the other people around us.
Can I say, Danny69, I love your questions. Thank you for asking questions. That's awesome. Do you just eat the fruit straight from the can as a snack, or can you rehydrate it? And if so, the texture like when you defrost frozen food?
I think it depends. Like, we prefer most of them just freeze dried. Like, honestly, it's just more convenient.
Yeah.
But we have rehydrated the apples. And I don't know if we've ever done the blueberries because they've never lasted that long.
I've done a few things. Let me tell you about it. When she's not looking, I'm rehydrating some of this food because I want to know what it's like. When you rehydrate the blueberries, for instance, you're going to make one of the best cooked blueberry pies you're ever going to eat. Yeah. Okay? Are you going to have a fresh strawberry straight off the vine? No. You'll have all the nutrients, you'll have all the vitamins, you'll have all of that stuff, but it doesn't go back to poof, like right off the vine.
And it's not going to be like super mushy like a frozen strawberry if you thaw it. So it's not going to be like that. So it does have a
I've rehydrated the bananas, and I've rehydrated the strawberries, and I ate them in a bowl because I'm a huge fan of eating strawberries and bananas together. I think that's the best flavor in the world, and so I did that to those, and it was very, very good. It wasn't that it had a little bit of runniness to it because it's absorbing water, and it doesn't go back to its natural off the vine, but that's really beside the point. It was a great, enjoyable experience. I love the taste of them. And if you're making smoothies, if you're eating them straight from the can, those are things that you're gonna love. It's just gonna be
our kids have made smoothies
off the charts,
with them, and they really like it.
Okay, Tiny House Prepper shared pay $80 or 3 months at $100. So those are your two choices when it comes to the Q Club.
Yeah, I understand that, Pamela. We have 4 boys, and they're 9, 11, and 12, and then we have a daughter that's 13, and all of them eat, like, both of their legs are hollow. And so to have, like I said, to have that fruit there, because they will, if I would let them, they would eat 6 or 7 pieces of fruit a day. And I have to kind of pace them because I'm like, you can't eat it all. But when our fresh fruit is gone, and I would rather them eat that up first, and then we kind of move to the Thrive stuff, because I want them to have something that is nutritious for them. I don't want them eating cookies, chips, that kind of stuff. That's right. So,
well, I'll be honest with you, it's helping me. Instead of running to the cabinet to get the ice cream bars or the nutty bars, which we gotta quit buying those things.
We don't have them that often.
The dehydrated nutty bars are delicious. No, they don't have those. I'm just kidding. But I'm just saying, for me, as a 46-year-old man who's trying to watch his weight and do a better job, Thrive Life fits the bill because there's no additives, there's no preservatives. I can go straight to the can and eat it straight from the can. We have a new person, Carrie Rudy, Kira. With the Q Club, can we order what we we specialty want monthly, or is it all a package put together? You can order whatever you want on the Q. The Q Club is a point system and a coupon system to get you dollars off. So with the Q, not the Q Club, with the Q, you pick what comes to you. They'll put it all in one box and ship it to you. Sometimes they put it in separate boxes, but most of the time they put it in one box.
Well, it depends on how big your order is, because we've gotten like 3 separate boxes at one time, and a lot of times they'll package like the bigger cans together and then the smaller cans together. You know, so, and it's always, that's the other thing, it's always packaged really well. Like if you have some bigger cans and smaller cans together, they'll put like that kind of bubbly stuff, like wrap in it to make sure that your cans aren't like knocking around and getting all dented and stuff like that.
Yeah. So that's kind of the Q. That's what I wanted to cover today. I don't know if I did it justice or not, and there's probably better videos on how to navigate the Q, but we wanted to let you guys know that we're so excited about this new business opportunity. We feel like it's an opportunity for us to share something that we are passionate about, which by watching our channel, we love cooking. Danny69, have you used strawberries to make strawberries in shortcakes with whipped cream? If so, was it yummy? One of my favorite desserts. We have not tried that.
But that is something that I can do. Would you guys like to see a video of me doing that?
I would like to see you do it, whether there's a video or not.
And see, that's one of those things too. Like you can't have strawberry shortcake in the middle of winter because strawberries are gross then at the grocery store, and they cost you an arm and a leg.
Virginia's just like, yes!
Okay.
I'm with you, Virginia. And she doesn't even have to make a video of it, because I get to eat it.
That, like, you don't want to spend all that money and then you have, like, subpar strawberries to make it with. And this is kind of nice because now you can make those certain desserts, like you can't make blueberry pie all year round, you know, with fresh blueberries because they are so incredibly expensive.
That's right.
Yeah, so I could do that. I could do a video on making. I mean, I just made biscuits, and know, shortcake's not much different than that, just a little more sugar. And so,
well, and there's different kinds of shortcake too, right? Like there's those little bundt cakes.
No, those are bundt cakes.
What are those little shortcakes where you put the berries on? You put the strawberries on top and the whipped cream.
Those are bundt cakes.
Little bundt cakes, smaller
like the ones that you see at the grocery store.
Yeah,
those are disgusting. You don't want those.
No, but when they're homemade, they're really good.
Oh, okay.
The little bundt cakes.
Like I've made pound cake. I think you're thinking pound cake.
Maybe I'm thinking
like pound cake, and then put the berries on it. And
absolutely.
Stuff, so,
listen, Thrive Life is a versatile and incredibly
sponge cake.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Allison. I could not think of what that was.
We've done we also like angel food cake with strawberries on it and stuff. That's really good.
Yeah.
I've never made an angel food cake from scratch because it takes like 12 April bites to do it. I buy that cake mix.
The thing about it is the Thrive Life food is so versatile, and you're not going to go there and find anything that you can't get. They have peanut powder to make your own peanut butter with. Yeah. But in the same vein, this isn't manufactured in a place that has peanuts. So it's in a different place so that if you have a peanut allergy, you can still use this. If you can't have gluten. You can't have gluten. There's gluten-free stuff.
Well, I know Elizabeth at Tiny House Prepper, she can't have gluten. And she uses all of their gluten-free stuff too. I watched her make biscuits one time, and they looked incredible. So they have that. Like if you have a gluten allergy, you can get gluten-free stuff there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna throw this out there, and we're all over the place. We have wonderful subscribers from everywhere: Germany, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand. You thought we forgot about you. Here's a question. And let me finish that thought. We will do a house party. And even if we have to do it over Skype or over video or something like this, we will do a house party where we talk about Thrive on a regular basis. This is a great opportunity. So anyway, here's the question. It's from Kara Rudy. This is a question from my mother. She signed up to buy Thrive food in a party. She is used to buying Patriot Supply food for years, but she wants to do Thrive now. She wants to buy from you guys and
then the rest of her comments
is confused how to do this. She isn't very computer literate. Could you give advice on how to do that? So I'm not sure who Patriot Supply is, but
because this is our first experience with this kind of food. I believe Patriot Supply may be another, like either dehydrated or freeze dry. I'm not quite sure. Someone can correct me on that if I'm wrong.
Virginia, it doesn't have any GMO in it, so you're good.
Yeah.
Leslie, it's gluten free. This is celery, so there's no gluten in there. And if you go to the website, it will articulate it'll have a place where you can pull up the ingredients label and you can read it on the website.
And also, like, if you look on the can, like right here, it says gluten free on it.
Yep.
So, and like I said, they have pasta, they have flours, they have all sorts of gluten free stuff on there.
But Miss Rudy, we're not ignoring your question. Here's the best way I can answer that, since I'm not familiar with Patriot Supply food. Simply click on our link that's going to be at the bottom here, the Goin Batty, GOINBATTY.thrivelife.com. That'll take you to our website. Click on shop and begin your journey. It's really that simple to order food from us. So I don't know, forget all of that extra other stuff. All you have to do is go to our website and sign up to do that.
Allison asked, is it monetarily worth it to buy if I know I'm just going to tear it open as soon as I get them? Yes. Our grocery budget hasn't changed. We have kept it at the same, and we've taken $50 of it to put towards Thrive, and we still have cans sitting over there of all the stuff that we haven't used all of it. And since it's okay for a year after it's been opened, you know,
it's very economical.
Yeah. And like, I'm not, like I said, it's not changed. I'm not having my $300 every 2 week grocery budget and then $50 on top of that. It's just $300.
Let me show you an example of this. So Heather makes her own chicken
that smells
stock.
Like celery.
Yeah, it does.
It smells just like celery.
It smells just like celery. So Heather makes chicken stock using the celery and carrots and the sliced onions.
Yep.
How many have you made so far out of this can?
I've done 2 batches out of that can.
2 full batches. How many? What's that give you? Like,
that gives me. I do it in my crock pot, so that gives me about for two batches of it is about 8 quarts.
Now look in this can. We still have plenty more for a lot more.
It's not even a third of the.
It's not even a third of the way used.
No, well, it's not even halfway used. We've only maybe used about a quarter of it.
Yeah, so we've got plenty of time to use this. And I don't eat these raw anymore because it's just
because he doesn't like celery.
So anyway,
but he likes it in things. He just doesn't like it raw.
I do. So anyway, this can is going to last us a long time, and we're going to be getting many dishes out of a number 10 can on many levels.
Especially when it comes to like fall and winter. When we're in soup season.
Oh, I love soup season.
My beef and barley soup, I use celery in it. My chicken noodle soup, I use celery in it. I use celery in the broccoli cheese soup. I mean, it's in my chicken and dumplings. It's in all of that stuff. So
it's in all of that. So there's some great things. I think that was the biggest thing that it took me about. Here's the thing. Brad and I had talked, and I was undecided. I stayed undecided for maybe 3 months. And I went to Heather and I said, the Lord keeps nudging me to think about this a little more. And so it took me some time to really figure out, pen on paper, is it economically going to be beneficial to my family? Because we didn't want to get into this if it wasn't. This is a business and we are using it as an income stream, and we're serious about it. We don't want to play any games. And so what I did is I took sausage from the grocery store. I broke it down like I used to in the restaurant business per serving. It wasn't price per pound, it was per serving. How much will each serving cost if I got it from the grocery store versus got it from Thrive Life? And you know what? Here's what happened. It was dead even. Dead even with the grocery store except for one thing. I'm not throwing away half of the sausage that I don't eat or goes bad from leftovers with Thrive Life. 25% of our grocery bill, 25% of our grocery bill was going in the trash can because we had leftovers.
Well, I just had to do that last week because we had some vegetables that got pushed to the back of the refrigerator and they got frozen. And or the leftovers that were starting to grow hair that nobody saw because it got pushed to the back. I mean, that is so incredibly frustrating to me. I feel so wasteful when that happens. And
Absolutely.
I'm like,
hey, JC, real quick. You, my Canadian friend, have the ability to join Thrive Life. Just go to our website, up where it says U.S. contiguous. You can click on that and go to the Canadian version of our website. And you can get involved in Thrive Life in Canada.
okay, so we have Canada.
Canada, sorry.
It's Canada.
Canada, sorry.
You guys sound like dumb Americans. Don't do that.
Well,
it says, say you know that what you need for 6 months. Would you be allowed to make one big order and not have to purchase anything for 6 months? So basically, one order twice a year.
If you want to be a consultant, then no, that would not work. If you want to get involved in this as a business, there is a monthly commitment that you're going to make because you're going to be using the food that you're promoting. You're going to be eating and showing people how this food fits into your life, and if you don't like it, why would you sell it? But I think that in that case, if you're just buying it, there's no limit. If you're just buying it, you could buy whatever you want for 6 months and then buy another 6 months later. I don't think it matters if you're just coming to purchase something on our website. You can just buy whatever you want to buy. I think it gets a little muddy when you want to join the queue or when you want to become a consultant. It changes a little bit. But if you're just buying food, hey, have at it. You can buy as much or as little as you want. So economically, let me go back because the sausage, I didn't finish that thought. 25% of it goes in the trash can, and now it's not. When we open it and when we want to have more sausage for later, it's ready for us. So when I was thinking about how they broke down at the grocery store versus Thrive Life sausage, there's that 25%, but there's also the fact that you're portioning out what you need when you need it. And you're not having to go to the grocery store. You're not having to fight the crowd. You're not wasting the gas. There's some variables in there that Heather can attest to, and you've seen our grocery runs. That can be a time-consuming process.
It is a time-consuming process because I have to do meal planning anyway. That's something I do every 2 weeks. I'll sit down, I'll do the meal planning, I'll do my pantry inventory and all that kind of stuff. But the grocery shopping aspect of it, the meal planning and the pantry stuff probably takes me about 2 hours to do, the meal planning, what's in the refrigerator, what's in the pantry, what's in Thrive. That'll take me about 2 hours. The grocery store trips, because I have to go to more than one grocery store. We do Costco, we do Meijer or Kroger, and then we do Aldi. That is about sometimes a 4 to 6 hour, depending on who is with me. Like if I'm taking, say my grandmother needs to go to the grocery store, it's going to take me longer because she doesn't move nearly as fast as I do, which is okay. But if I can cut some of that out, because that to me just is the most annoying waste of time. I know that sounds terrible.
Well,
but
and Tanya brings up a good point online too. That how many times have you gone to the store and had to come back because what you bought went bad before you got home?
I bought an entire thing of onions one time, and every single one of them was rotten. Like from about the fourth layer down. I was so mad. I took that back. Oh, I made me so mad. Or you get produce, and the next day it's starting to go bad on you.
Absolutely.
It makes me so mad.
Yeah. So, Kiara, when you go to our website, goinbatty.thrivelife.com, and you order out of that website, it's from us. The commission comes through to us, and I appreciate you worrying about us getting credit for it. But this is great food, and we really want you to enjoy it. And yes, I eat the sausage out of the can too.
Yeah, he says it's meat popcorn.
It is meat popcorn. I love it. And I have been called Fred Flintstone myself. So I appreciate
Funny,
that.
but true, yes.
So I just on the economic thing for a minute, those things that I pointed out were the things that sent Heather and I into a discussion about why Thrive Life. So those discussions were very important at the beginning of this because we didn't want to sell something we didn't believe in.
Hold on a second. Kira, that is such a great idea. They put a big order in, not just for our family, but for multiple families who can't afford it. What a great way to, like, if I think about more food pantries should do stuff like this. Because instead of your opening a can and, like you said, maybe it's only one person. Okay, now I got to figure out what to do with this before it goes bad. Having that stuff for people who maybe can't, like food pantries and stuff like that, like where people need help sometimes, and it's
Absolutely.
a great way. I love being able to feed anyone who walks to my door. One of the ways that I tell people I love them is I stuff them full of food and then I send them home. So, but I mean, anyone that comes to our house, I want them to know, like for me as a child, there was always love around that. At my grandma's house, at home and everything, that every dish was made with love. And I knew somebody loved me when, they would feed me, which is probably maybe not like a great thing. But, my mom used to, we had, growing up and as a teenager, the people come into our lives who she called the wounded puppies. The kids who came from broken homes and bad homes and stuff like that, and they would gravitate towards our family because my mom and dad loved each other. They were married for almost 40 years before my dad passed away. And but they wanted to be in a family and be here and sit here and eat dinner, because that was something that was really important with my parents. We sit down as a family and we eat dinner, and to be around that table with all of us and feel like that they had a home. And to be able to, and this is not necessarily doing it with this food, but you can, you can make, like, say that your son decides he's going to bring 4 of his friends home, and you don't have enough set out for him and 4 of his friends. You can throw stuff together a lot easier with this than having to chop more stuff, having to thaw out more of this, and and that way you can, because you never know what that kid is going through, or what that person is going through, or what that family is going through. And sometimes having that sit down at a table as a family and having that warm meal warms people's hearts and souls.
Absolutely. We are grateful for you checking out this video. We're grateful for you taking the time out of your schedule to listen. If any of you are feeling led to purchase food from us, we'd be blessed by that and would love helping you navigate any questions that you have. I would also like to just ask, would you consider becoming a consultant on our team? We're a lot of fun, and Goin Batty's a new idea and a new company, and we're gonna come around you like family because we're in this for the community. We're in this for well, I guess you could say we're in this for a lot of things. We hit our first real hard critic lately on the internet. I think the exact words they use I can't use because we're family friendly, but self-promoting SOB was the word. And we are self-promoting in the fact that we are the Goin Batty channel, and we are showing you in our life and what we're going through. And here's the deal: Thrive Life is a part of that. This business is a part of that, and we're not going to shy away from that just because we have a few critics. We're going to celebrate it, and then we're going to sell our critics some celery. No, I'm just saying we're not going to hide from that. It's something that we want to do. It's something that we've chosen to do. And we don't want anybody to do something that they're not comfortable with. But if you are looking for a business to get involved with, I highly suggest that you guys be a part of this. Hewitt Homestead, how are you? We're glad you're here. Allison, thanks. And I agree, making a good, honest living is a part of that.
And here's the thing, because we have made the choices that we have, and our choices are guided by God's word, and as we've prayed where we feel God is leading us. We have made a sacrifice in the fact that I am here with our children, that that we homeschool. You know, a lot of it, I feel like that, and Kevin and I have discussed this, he is the head of the family, but I am the heart of it, and one can't work without the other. They
Amen.
Both have to be there. And,
that's right.
And being the heart of the home, you have to, for us, I have to be there in it. And I feel like my children are better for it. But there's a sacrifice that comes with that. You know, he's in youth ministry, and you don't do youth ministry because you rake in big bucks. You do youth ministry because you love people, and you love having
family.
Seeing the change that Christ makes in the life of a young person. And so us doing this Thrive actually helps supplement the income that maybe I could have been out there doing. I mean, I was a florist by trade. That's what I did before I met him, after we were married. And but as my children came along, when I was there at work, my heart was always with my kids, and it would almost break my heart sometimes to be away from them. So we made the choice that I would be here at home. So as we do this kind of stuff, no, it is honest work. We are doing it so that we can better our family and get us to a place where we need to be. So yes, right. It is awesome that he's a youth pastor. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Okay. So there was a question about, tell us about the yogurt bites, please. Well, here is what a yogurt bite looks like right there. That's a yogurt bite.
And that's about all we have left.
And here's what a yogurt bite can does in our house. It's almost completely empty. Yeah. And we're going to add water to that and make more yogurt out of it.
Because don't waste it.
It's just powder now.
Yeah.
It's okay. But yeah, that goes really fast, and it's one of their favorite treats in the house. So in the big family. Goin Batty.
Goin Batty. Different people.
So yeah, the yogurt bites look like that. If you'll notice, dairy is blue, vegetables are green, and then protein has a whole nother color.
It looks like pink. I think maybe pink.
Purplish pink.
Purplish pink.
Yeah. So there are different color codes for each version. Yeah, and you know, there are a multitude of ways to utilize Thrive Life. And Allison, you brought up one about giving it to the homeless. I think that's a great idea in the little Ziploc baggies.
She had to hide her yogurt bites from her husband.
I bet.
Two-family homes. Not two-family. Hewitt Homestead. I just wanted to tell you, I am praying for your wife as she's coming to the end of her pregnancy. I know in your videos you've talked about that she has not been feeling well, and I understand that. I had morning sickness almost from the time of conception till 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, no, until about 2 or 3 days before I had the kids. So, like, I feel for her, and that is especially when you got little ones running around. And she's very. You're a good husband to her, because I watch as you're taking on the kids and work and all, because I know that she probably tells you that she appreciates you doing that. But just know that we're praying for her, because I've been there and I've done that, and I understand that the toll that it takes sometimes, and that feeling of I can't do anything, you know. And just know that she's being covered in prayer.
Yeah. Well, and as a dad, I'm gonna, I'm a father of 4, so I'm kind of in your camp on some things. We're talking about Thrive Life, and when we first started Thrive Life, there was a conflict in our hearts a little bit that Heather and I had to talk about. We love our garden. We love fresh vegetables. We have them sitting on our table right here and right now.
It's our little pickling cucumber.
A little pickle that we just got out of our garden.
I can't make very many pickles out of that one guy though yet, so I got a jalapeno too.
The thing about Thrive Life was, the conflict was, how do we promote a product that doesn't feel like it's coming straight from the vine? After doing the research and after looking into it, it comes straight from the vine. It's just an easier step. It's for that emergency. And as a dad, I wish I knew about Thrive Life when Heather was pregnant, because then my kids wouldn't have to eat things like Daddy Surprise. Daddy Surprise was really, really scary.
Yeah. There's only one time Daddy Surprise turned out right good in the 15 times that he made it.
Yeah,
so
it
the
was
kids
bad.
would be like, Mom, please don't let Daddy make Daddy Surprise again. Don't go away anywhere ever.